All right, guys. Good morning. I don't know what day it is. I forget. Anyway, I came out here to tend to my marijuana garden and pull some leaves, thin the plants out a bit. For a number of different reasons. I'll kind of go into detail here. I wasn't planning on doing a video today, but every day is a new day, and I discover something new, and I figure I'd take this opportunity to share it with everybody else before I just proceed. So let me give you a tour of my little greenhouse and show you what's going on in here. All right. So, my last video was telling y'all I was going to be thinning the plants out, and I did. I've pulled a lot of the bigger leaves out of here. Thinned a lot of that out to really expose the canopy deep into there more. These plants all thinned out more, so it's that plant over there got thinned out pretty good, so that doesn't look as full, but that's a good thing. You don't want the leaf, it's early on. You want to let it grow out, let the leaves get the sunlight, and really let the plants fill out and grow. But as they get near flowering, you want to start thinning them out. I had to get rid of my peas in here, pull the rest of the peas that were out in here, because same thing happened to me last year. Powdery mildew. It's just a mold, pretty common. One of the least concerns, really, of all the molds. But it's not good. It's just a white little powder that develops. I don't know if there's anything else in here I can show you as an example of that. I cleared out everything that I could see that had it. But the problem is that powdery mildew will spread to everything else in the garden eventually. Yeah, tomato plant's doing good. But so I got rid of the peas. Had to do that. The reason I thin the leaves out, we'll go into that a little bit in case you're wondering. A number of reasons. One, obviously, when you harvest the plant, you don't want the leaf. You're not trying to smoke the leaf. You can use it for, oil and stuff like that. You can process it. It has THC in it, but not as much as the buds. So, you start pulling the leaves now, and then as you approach harvest season, you don't have nearly as much to deal with. It's, that saves you time. Plus, every one of these little guys right here, that's going to be a bud soon. That's going to be a bud. These are all going to be buds. These are all little bud sites, all the way down into there. So by thinning the canopy, the leaves up on top, it allows more of the sunlight to penetrate deeper in there. So you just got more buds down lower in the plant. And powdery mildew, insects, pests, things like that. It gives less places for that stuff to sit and hide. The best thing to do with powdery mildew is provide plenty of airflow into the plant. Because if you got any moisture in there and humidity in there and it sits for too long, promotes the mildew. But as you can see, everything looks pretty clean. There's no issues here. I had a couple leaves with a couple spots, but that's gone. So we'll see. And I'm probably going to give my plants a little bit of a spray of just a light hydrogen peroxide solution in some water with just a little bit of dish soap on there. I might throw a little fresh aloe juice into there from my aloe plants, and spray them just to help with any powdery mildew. The peroxide and soap will help kind of kill that away a little bit. You don't want to go too heavy on it, but the plants can handle a little bit. But anyway, so that's what's going on. So I spent a little bit of yesterday and this morning thinning out my plants. And a lot of people smoke pot, and a lot of people get high all the time. A lot of people think they're real connoisseurs, and they'll sit there at a pot shop with a bud tender and be like, oh yeah, that's some dank weed. They don't know what the fuck they're actually talking about. But hey, whatever, have fun. It's cool. But yeah, you got to know where it comes from. If you don't know where the hell it comes from, why are you even consuming it, right? In my opinion. But whatever, it's fun, recreation. So anyway, I thinned this out. I tucked a little more of the branches down again. Some of them I just couldn't. But what I do on the taller stuff is I just break that little top off. See there, that broken stem right there? I just pop that little top of the plant off, like this thing. I'll just pop that little head off right here. And what that does, it'll stunt the growth at that level for a while. It'll promote more growth on the lower stuff. And it'll give me a chance to put netting over here before that gets too much taller. Here, I got to this plant. This is the last plant I have left to do to thin out. And I'm a little heartbroken. As you can see, it's a big, beautiful, full plant. Exactly what I want, and it's one of my bigger plants. It's the same variety as this one. I think it's called a Sativa Scream. Not, it's just a hybrid of sativas. But I got the seeds online from a vendor I trusted. They're supposed to be feminized seeds. They're all supposed to be feminized seeds. If you get regular seeds, you end up getting male plants in the mix. If they're feminized seeds, you don't get male plants. And, when you go buy feminized seeds, you pay $10, $12, $15 a seed. You don't want a male plant. You want females. Males don't produce the bud. They don't produce the THC. All they do is knock up these ladies. And then the ladies end up crossbred, and they produce seed. I don't want that. I don't want seed all up in my bud. A few seeds I'm cool with. But, so unfortunately, one of my freebie seeds is a male plant. I'm looking at a male plant right here. So that plant's got to go. I'm going to have to cut that son of a bitch down. Shoulda noticed it sooner. It's not too late. But it was doing some weird things early on that I kind of noticed and wasn't paying too much attention to. But now let me show you. Let me show you what happens when you got a male plant. Here's a decent. Let me zoom in. See all this right here? See these little things right here? This little cluster of stuff right here. See those little like up over here. It's really hard to see. My phone kind of sucks in balls, but those are balls. That's what I call balls. Those are the balls of the plant, the testicles of the plant. Now, if it was a female, I'll show you what a female looks like. Let's see if I can find one right off them. They're just starting to really show the sex. Well, let's see. Damn. Look around. Here we go. Here's a female right here. Okay, let me show you this. If you can see. See how that female, see how that's growing little hair. Oh, gee, goddamn phone. Really? Phone can't stay in focus. But see how they're like little hairs right there? Little white hairs coming off of that. See, that's, if I can get in there, the little hairs right there, if you can see them, that's a female. That's a female right there. This, there's none of those hairs, man. It's just the balls. Now, the ones with the hairs don't have little balls. Sorry, I'm not getting into technical terms. I don't really, scientific terms, whatever. You can look that up. But, yeah, these are balls. So that's a male plant. This over here, I'm going to walk around. This is a better example of a female here. Let's see. Yeah, it's just, let me show you that. If you can see all those little white hairs right there? Those little hairs sticking out of there. See, what they don't have in there, they don't have little balls. They don't have those same little balls. They just got little hairs popping out. So this is female. Everything else I have is a female, but that one over there is a male. I'm going to have to take it down. If I let it go too long, another week or two, it'll start producing pollen. And then that pollen will rapidly get spread all over the place. This male just wants to do everything he can to knock these females up real quick. I can't let it happen. So, gonna have to cut that plant down. I'm gonna have a big old hole in my greenhouse there. But what I'll try to do is tuck the one behind it down a little more, and I can spread this one over a little more. I'll try to fill that space up a little bit, but yeah, I don't want the male plants, guys. I don't want to deal with the male plant. That's not what I want. Which sucks, but That's farming, man. That's gardening. You never really know what you're going to get. But let me tell you something else, too. You know, I grow my own, been growing my own all my life. I was part of the legal industry for a few years. The legal pot industry, guys, it's as bullshit as Walmart. It really is. It's, you know, if you're going to be a real successful business in this country and really make some good money and sell your product online to a wide group of people, you're greedy as shit and you don't care. You don't fucking care. If your main priority is making a ton of money, you don't fucking care. And you take advantage of everybody you can. And that's what the legal pot industry has become. One, the price of getting in, the cost of getting in is outrageous, you know, to even do it legally. You got to be rich to do it, which sucks because the rest of us can't. But it's greed. It's such greed. And what happens is, you know, I bought from a good vendor online. I've bought from past, you know, and these were a special promotion. I think I got it last summer during the 420 sales. You know, you buy this many feminized seeds and you get a free pack of feminized seeds. And they advertise their freebie seeds and the free feminized seeds you get with your purchase. And so, you know, you figure, well, all right, well, I'll buy a whole bunch of seeds, I'll get a whole bunch of freebies, and then I'll take the time to plant them. And several months later, you get fucked because the company sold you gave you some male seeds for free. And that's what the industry does. You know, if the industry offers you a discount or offers you some freebies, it's because it's bullshit. It's because it's a shit product. It's because it's probably very low quality. You're not going to get what you want. I mean, it's just like everything else in America. So, you know, welcome to the Walmart of weed today, guys. It's all the more reason to grow your own. You know, because, I mean, I can produce my own feminized seeds in this greenhouse. And then they're strain specific. If I let this motherfucker go to town and pollinate my plants, I'm going to get all sorts of hybrids. And, you know, my Afghani back there is going to be an Afghani sativa scream cross. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want a hybrid. I want what I want. So, yeah, heads up, guys. Do it yourself. You know, do it yourself. Because you buy that legal shit, you don't know what the hell that's been through. And don't trust the numbers. It just, you know, it might say it's 30% THC. That's some bullshit. Don't trust that. The testing is bullshit. I know how it goes. I've done it myself. These companies, there's plenty of loopholes and ways to fuck with the numbers. The state testing is some bullshit. The people doing the testing don't know what the fuck's going on in the grow. The people in the grow can select what they send off to get tested. It's all bullshit, guys. So don't believe anything they tell you in the legal markets. Don't believe the THC percentages. Don't believe anything they fucking tell you. Because it's all bullshit. These companies are all greedy, and the owners of these pot shops, they're greedy as fuck. You know, they got $500,000 invested in the licensing and everything else to do it. So they want their money back, and they're going to get it through you by fucking you over. The growers don't give a shit. You know, it's the growers are the ones bypassing all the fucking testing and all that shit because they know all the loopholes. I don't think the state really cares much. You know what I mean? It's money. A lot of money being made, guys. A lot of money. Very lucrative industry. And you know, the bud tenders, pot shops, they're not outgrowing it. And they might tell you they know what they're doing, but if they're not growing it, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So don't listen to them. You know, they just want their money too. They're paying for the product. They're selling you an incredibly overpriced amount for it. And they don't know. They aren't in the grow. They can't confirm what's on their shelves because they aren't in that grow themselves. It's very rare to find someone growing and selling their own product. I mean, it happens. But even then, if they're growing it, they're also cheating too. You know, they're using stuff they shouldn't be using, chemicals they shouldn't be using. They're sending off very bullshit test samples. So anyway, guys, my heart's broke. That plant right there, that big old bush right there, this big bush, that bastard of a male plant is going to go. I have a big old hole there, but I need my female plants. So thank you, guys. I'll probably upload this video here tonight, but I want to show you before I go cutting that down. I was going to thin the leaves, but then I'm like, nope, no point in doing that. Chop the fucker down. So, all right, but peace out, guys. Have a good day.